Should get the bottle.
And we're live.
And adjusting.
And we're still fiddling with stuff.
What's up?
What's going on? Welcome to the Thursday night Dylan Talks Tone. The Dylan Talks Tone and Leslie live stream.
No.
It's still called the Dylan Talks Tone live stream, but then you're here, so I'm like...
Surprise!
Yeah. So, I have an idea for a video that I need to talk to you about after.
Is that my knife? No.
No, this is not your knife. This is my knife.
Anyway, what's the video? After? Why
yeah,
do you talk about it now then?
Because I don't want to talk about it right now, but it just reminded me that I want to talk to you about it after. So
if you expect me to remember by the time we finish, that's probably questionable.
So, welcome to Thursday. Thursdays are Q&A. We have questions that came in from Patreon. So basically, we make a post every Thursday morning, and it's on Patreon and for YouTube members, and we put those on the screen right here. They get featured on the screen. If you use a super chat, you get featured on the screen as well. And you can also just get over there in their chat and ask a bunch of questions as much as possible. Put a bunch of question marks in front of it, and maybe Leslie will catch it. There's always taking a chance with that, depending on how busy the chat stream is. Last week we had like 340 chats in the first hour, so it was like bonkers busy, super fun. We're going to talk guitar stuff until 9 o'clock, and then after that we're going to just kind of talk about whatever we want. And after 9 o'clock, super chats only for guitar questions. It's our way of hanging out with you, kind of off topic, just talking about whatever. So we're going to kind of fit all that in today.
Everybody's laughing. They said you have a shirt that would make Tom Selleck jealous.
Hey, man.
Then they said you need the stash.
This shirt is so... It feels so nice.
Your hand is bleeding.
My hand is bleeding?
Yeah, your finger is bleeding.
Oh, it is. That's not from a knife. That's from cracked cuticles because I bite my nails.
What punishment do I get if I miss a question? You know, I was thinking when he said it, like, usually he has more faith than me, and he was like, she might get it.
I mean, sometimes the thing's really cranking.
I know, and but it's not on me.
I know. I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it was your fault. I just meant like sometimes we're super busy, and maybe she'll get to you, maybe she won't.
But that sounds like I'm picking and choosing. I'm not.
I didn't mean it like that at all. So, you saw the thumbnail. I want to talk about something really cool I'm really excited about. I've never done this before. I'm stealing the idea. This is obviously not my idea. But I'm stealing the idea from all the car YouTubers. Not car YouTubers, car journalisms. Like Top Gear and Motor Trend and Haggerty, who all do like, these are the top 10 cars of the year. So instead of doing a top 10 list, what we're doing is there is a link in the description. It's right at the top of the description of this video. And this is the coolest thing I've ever done all year because it's so fun. Because I'm already watching the results and it's really fun. There are 4 categories. Miscellaneous gear, so that's going to be like strings and picks and plugins, stuff like that, like just kind of random stuff. Pedals, amps, and guitars. And you can go to, I don't know why this isn't, there we go. You can go to that link below, and you can vote on all of those things. Now here's the thing, when you do it, there's been a couple of people in the comments. I think they're kind of trying to just be cantankerous about it. You didn't put anything on there that I have. Which is the normal guitar player's super chat.
Yeah, it's not really a super chat. It's that, like, they get whatever allowance. But Van Shank Guitars has been here for 2 years.
Nice. He's been a member, a YouTube member. He hit the little join button.
Awesome.
That's really cool. Thanks, Van Shank.
Awesome.
He's also a Patreon member, so that's like doubly double.
Doubly double?
Yeah. So even if you don't have this stuff, you know, don't be one of those guitar players who's like, I don't own it, so it's not cool. You know what I mean? If even if you don't own it, just pick the stuff that you think is the coolest that you could buy. You would buy maybe if you wanted to, or I don't know. Just so we can get an idea. I think it's kind of fun. And then the latest, the last week of the month, I don't know if I'm going to do a video or a live stream or what we're going to do, but we're going to do some sort of thing where we do the best of 2022, and I'm going to reveal all of the statistics. And some of the stuff might surprise you result-wise so far, which I find very interesting. And I see a pie chart on my side for each of the things, and I will say that some of the things are it's ebbing and flowing a little bit with the votes, but it's trending in a very interesting direction, which I find very cool. So that is what I would love for you to be a part of. It's the coolest. It's kind of a fun thing at the end of the year. Please do me a favor. Get in the comments right now and tell me what your favorite gear that you actually got this year. Even if it was used, if you bought something used, if you bought something somebody gave you a gift, a guitar-related gift, let us know what you got, because I'd be curious to know kind of what you're into and what you've been wanting to buy. And while you do that, what are you looking for?
I was trying to find a picture of you in that shirt in Colorado because you had a name tag on and it looked like you should have been on Price is Right, but I don't know where that picture is.
I don't know. I didn't have a name tag on in Colorado. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's why I need to find the picture, because you always say that. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about. And I very much remember what I'm talking about.
It wasn't in Colorado. Why would I have a name tag in Colorado?
I don't remember.
The only time I've worn a name tag all year is when I went to a Yelp thing.
No, it wasn't
here in Augusta.
That wasn't it. I'm telling you. I'll show you.
All right.
If I can find it.
Well, we should do these Patreon things
I'm ready. I can do all the things.
No,
you didn't.
Full on confidence.
Oh, I have to do super chats first.
We'll do super chats first, though.
Super chat from Doc Siltonen. Thank you for the super chat, Doc. He says, I'm really looking forward to the wine tasting. When is that happening, and what am I drinking?
That is the last live stream of the year. So whatever date that is, we're going to bring it up later.
It is Thursday, December 29th. And you are drinking... I should go get the bottle. Do you remember?
I don't remember the name.
All right. I'm going to give you the first question, and while you're talking, I will bring the bottle back, and I will cover that part of your question, Doc.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, give me the first question.
Yep. Shane, I got 5 hardtails, all made within the last 5 years. 3 have Tune-o-matic, 2 Nashville style, and 1 has a hip shot hardtail. The hip shot is so much better, especially in regards to the ease of adjustment. Is there any good reason companies still use Tune-o-matic, or is it just because it is a vintage spec? Is it a radius thing? What am I missing?
Oh, that's a good question. So, okay. The biggest thing with that question is cost. Tune-o-matics are not expensive. Well, let's say this. Most Tune-o-matics aren't Tune-o-matics. Most of them are, well, they are, but they're not Tone Pros Tune-o-matics, okay? So Gibson and some other custom companies, like there are companies that use Tone Pros Tune-o-matics. Now, off the shelf, those things are like $60. Off the shelf, a hip shot is $120. So it's twice as much money. Most Tune-o-matics that you're seeing are knockoff. Well, they're either Clusins or they're some kind of Chinese knockoff of it. They're not brand name Tune-o-matics. If you look at them, even the Epiphone, whatever that thing is, what do they call it? Bridge lock or whatever they call that thing where it clicks on, where it doesn't fall off. Those aren't Tune-o-matics. Most of the stuff is so, and you can buy those Chinese ones like on an Epiphone. You can buy those things for like $15. They're not expensive. Where a hip shot's real expensive, And so you're only going to see that on boutique instruments and on stuff that is more expensive. I mean, it's just a cost of parts thing. Because as we've talked about before, cost of parts is an exponential situation. If you go from if you go from a $60 Tune-o-matic to a $120 hip shot, now you're looking at a guitar that costs $250 to $300 more just by making that one change because of the way a business is run.
All right, so we're going to talk about it in the next hour, but since the question was asked, the wine is Rodney Strong. It's it's the white label 2019 Sonoma County Cab.
Yep. Rodney Strong. I don't know where you get it in Canada, but
it's got to be there though, because Rick's in Canada.
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 Rick Bonneville's from Canada, and he said he could get it. So, and it's pretty common. We just got it at our normal grocery store. So,
yep.
Let's go on to the next question.
We're not ready.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Tony Leonardi.
Thank you for the super chat, Tony Leonardi. He says, this year's favorites, my 2 loaded pick guards from you for my Telly and Strat.
Awesome. Thank you. That's cool.
All right. So, next up we got Randy. What can you do when you feel you have all the guitars you want or need?
I don't know.
What is that feeling?
I mean, I don't feel like I need any right now. I want a Les Paul for sure.
Well, then you still qualify because he said want or need.
Oh, also, I think if I didn't get a new guitar for a while, I wouldn't care. But that's because I have other things on my mind right now. So it's kind of like I have other priorities going in my head. And I'm buried in pedals, to tell you the truth. Gibson sent me 5 pedals yesterday, and they're sending me 5 more next week. So, and we have all the PRS stuff. I mean, it's crazy. Busy with pedal reviews. So yeah, I don't know what that feels like right now because I feel like I have just guitars coming out of my ears.
Do any of you know what that feels like?
I would just sell one and get something else. I like keeping them fresh, but as you are aware, I don't really get super attached to any one of them.
People didn't like that.
Thumbs down, Frank didn't like that. Sorry, thumbs down, Frank. No, I'm not sorry, actually.
Robert, I see the Fender Mini Strat takes standard size pickups, but is the pickguard smaller? I can't tell from the descriptions. I'd think so, and if so, could I send it to you to load?
It is different. There's not as many knobs, and it is smaller. That being said, I could build one for you, but I wouldn't have you send it to me. What I would do is I would build you a setup, pre-wired and everything, and send it to you so you could just drop it into your pickguard. It would make sense to do that. We could do it one way instead of 2 ways. So get with me on that. And basically what you would do is you just order a loaded pickguard from me, and I just wouldn't send you the pickguard. For those of you who don't know, the pickguard is not that expensive. So it's not a huge cost differential. And it's actually kind of more of a pain to do this. But I don't mind doing it. It would just, I think it's just a volume and a tone on those baby ones. And I might ask you for a couple of measurements, like the spread between the knobs, stuff like that, just to make sure that it fits. But we could do it without you sending stuff back and forth.
Oh, I forgot they overlay. All right, hang on. How do I do this? X. Sorry about that. It should automatically know what I want it to do. Super chat from Brad Guitar Miller. Thank you for the super chat. Cool new gear was a set of Dylan pickups for the Telly that I built. Extra bonus, plus a couple of cool boutique pedals from LPD Pedals.
Oh, cool. I don't even know who that is, so they must be cool. You know what I mean? Like, they must be really boutiquey. Yeah, that's cool. Super cool.
I'm falling down, y'all. He jinxed me. Nick. Hi, Dylan and Leslie. Hope you're both well. Dylan, in line with your views on this week's podcast and the future of tube amps, what would you say that now is would you say that now is a good time to sell a Mesa Boogie MK3. I've had it about 20 years, haven't played it or even turned it on in at least the last 15. Assuming it still works, would now be a good time to cash out, or do you think it's likely to be worth more in time? I can't see a time where I'm going to need to use a 60 or 100 watt combo amp.
I don't think it's going to go worse. I think if you can afford to hang on to it and you have room for it, I would hang on to it. I think that tube amps are going to go up in value. I don't think they're going to go up in value like vintage Les Pauls or anything, because there's so many of them. The volume is just so, I don't mean like the loudness, I mean like the number of them is so high that they're not rare, you know? So I don't think that's a thing, but I do think they're going to definitely hold their value, in my opinion. Yeah, what he was talking about is one of my five hot takes for 2022 is that I believe that the demise of the normal tube amp is already happening. Like, because even like this is a tube amp, but it's not normal. It's got all of the computer stuff in it. I think the normal just tubes, it's just people are just they're gonna want them. I basically likened it to having a classic car. You're going to play it on the special days when nobody's home and your neighbors aren't around, and you can play it once in a while. But everyday use, your daily driver amp, isn't going to be a tube amp. I think that's starting to go that direction.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. Then we have, is that the one I just did? Yes.
Yep.
Rob. Hello, Leslie and Dylan. What does 50s wiring mean? Please respond in the context of a Strat, as well as two pickup guitars such as a Telly and a Les Paul.
Now, I don't normally cheat on these.
Okay.
But I did see this one. So can I take over for just a second?
Sure.
Because we have visual aid.
Ooh, fancy.
So, 50s wiring is on the bottom. And as you will notice, you will see the signal input is the same on all of them. On the volume knob side, the volume knob itself, being a voltage divider, is set up the same way. But you see where the capacitor is hooked up. So if you look at the top one is vintage or modern wiring, basically, or you call it Fender style wiring. So like a normal Telecaster that you buy today is wired that way. See how the tone pot is grounded to itself on one side. Actually, I don't do it that way. I don't do it quite that way. But basically, you see it there. And then on the bottom is 50s wiring, where the signal output is hooked up to the capacitor on the volume knob, and then like the output jack. And then see how the center lug of the tone knob is grounded on the 50s wiring, and the one side of the resistor is hooked up to the capacitor. Okay, so those are the two wiring diagrams, and if you want to screenshot this or whatever, or rewind back to 18 minutes and 30 seconds or 18 minutes or however later on, you could do that. So let me tell you what the difference is. When you use 50s wiring, basically you turn the volume down, and some of your highs, the highs don't go away as much as they do with modern wiring. It retains some of the high frequencies when you turn your volume down. The problem is that it swaps problems. So when you turn your tone knob down, your volume starts to drop. With modern wiring, you turn your volume down and the highs start to go away a little bit, but the tone knob always stays totally functional. I personally like modern wiring. Most people like 50s wiring because it says 50s wiring, but I don't think they actually... my opinion is, if you're going to use the knobs on your guitar as they were intended to actually turn them and not use everything on 10 all the time, I like modern wiring better because I use my tone knob a lot. And if I use my tone knob and my volume drops, I hate that. So that's why I leave mine modern. talk amongst yourselves. But I think there will be other people that have the opposite opinion because of how they use the guitar. So I think it depends on how you use the guitar. But that's the way I like to do it. And I like the highs to be cut a little bit as the volume goes down. Using a volume mod to me is kind of dumb. I like to have it do that because it gives the pickup more characters. It plays more roles when you change the sound of the pickup as the volume goes down. It changes. You have more guitars in one, if that makes sense.
I would like to show you set picture.
Oh, that is a piece of tape.
It is a name tag, but it is tape, and it doesn't matter.
Oh, I didn't remember. I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either way,
I do
you look like you
remember
should be on The Price is Right. The Price is Right? Yes. Like,
Oh,
come on down.
Yeah.
Told you it happened.
Yep.
Picture proof.
If I get one of these, I have enough of these shirts now. I probably should get a Corvette instead and some white New Balances.
Moving on. Zoltan. If you put a P90 in the neck of the Rev Star, why not a center punch in the bridge with a coil split on the volume pot?
Okay, so what he's talking about is I got that lime green guitar in there.
Yes.
And we're going to probably put the humbucker size P90 in the neck. And I want to put probably a DAF in the bridge. Mostly because they match up really good in how they sound. And because the person that bought the guitar from me already, because it's already sold, might want that or does want that. And I want to leave the push-pull with the high-low pass filter thing in it because I think that's a really neat feature. And it would make it super versatile with those two different pickups in it. So I think that's it's just kind of an interesting setup. It's not that you don't always need coil splitting. Plus, coil splitting on the bridge pickup's dumb anyway, in my opinion. Unless it's on a telly or something. Or
Awesome.
Strat.
Well, that was the end
Of those?
of the... Yes. Do you want to hear what
I do.
their gear things were?
I
like
do.
to bring it back?
Yeah.
All right. I don't know what that says. Stwert. I don't know. Street String Works says spark and a foot switch.
Sweet. I got one of those right here. I love that thing.
Bryant McGallion. My favorite gear is a Squire Gold Anniversary neck. I put it on a flat black body with chrome hardware and a single bridge humbucker. Love it.
Dude, that's really neat. To actually, because the neck is cool, right? Those people won't believe me, but he obviously did. The Gold Series, like what's on that white Jazzmaster right there, the Gold Series 40th anniversary necks are really good, aren't they? Speaking of that, Tom Tourville, if you are watching, your guitar ships probably Monday. The Baritone Telly is probably going to ship Monday. We sold the Purple Kramer. I'm going to try to ship that tomorrow. Yeah, so we got a bunch of guitars going out of here with new and cool pickups and various things going.
Rob F. Coolest thing I purchased this year is my Zilla mini stack of 212s.
Ooh.
Cold Acre. Best bit of gear I got in 2022 was the Kitty Caster Groovy Wizard Fuzz Driver. Howard G is a genius. Howard G.
Interesting.
I don't know.
I've not heard of that one.
Mark Stanton must have another comment because this is and the guitar I made at Texas Toast. So I guess we'll see the before. It just
got
throws
some
off
cool
order.
stuff this year.
Brian Phelps, gear bought this year, Black Star JJN20 Duke of Tone pedal. So far, there is still time for more.
Right?
Okay, same name that I'm botching. Stwert. I don't know. Street String Works. 2021 Gretsch 5232T Double Cut Duo Jet.
Oh, yeah, those are cool.
Mr. Goat JHS 3 Series Harmonic Trim and Octave Reverb pedals.
Oh, cool.
Someone's dad, my favorite miscellaneous gear of the year is swapping over to Ernie Ball Turbo Slinkies 9 9, how do you say it? 9.5 to 48?
9.5 to 48, yep.
9.5 to 48, obviously.
So these Maestro pedals that just came in, so speaking of pedals, so these are the ones that just came from Gibson. They sent me 5 of them. All 3 of these light up.
What?
Yeah, it's really cool. They're super vintagey looking and feeling, and the knobs and everything. They're just really cool. And they sound great, actually. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Mark Stan said you can wear that shirt in a Porsche.
Okay, good. If it's white with a blue interior and a blue soft top, like that's like the Buick colors of Porsche.
I mean, why did you buy that shirt if you think it's dumb?
I love it. I think it's
so
awesome.
Why do you think you
They're
have to
the
be
ones
a
making
boring
fun
old
of me.
man? No, you make fun of yourself. They didn't do it.
Oh, I just self-deprecating humor is part of.
Then don't blame it on somebody else. Own it.
I like it. It feels nice. I almost don't care what it. I don't care what it like looks like. I almost like how it feels or sounds.
I don't like how it sounds. I'm glad you like how it feels. All right. Let's see what else folks have. Curtis Chavez, I only got a Recording King acoustic and a Boss Katana this year. Love them both.
Ooh, Recording King acoustic. Those are neat. What a great guitar to have around the living room.
Hawkman Hawks, coolest pedals I have bought this year are the Friedman BEOD Deluxe and Dirty Shirley pedals.
Nice.
Mark Stanton. So here's the first comment. Coolest thing I bought this year was that custom shop telly, that and the Spark Mini.
Okay, I was thinking he got a custom shop telly, but I couldn't. We talked about it when we were in Colorado that was possible.
Someone's dad says that diagram needs to go out in an e-blast.
So what I'm working on right now is this is going to happen in the next couple weeks. I've been thinking about this. Mm-hmm. I want to put a thing on the bottom of the webs, on the bottom of the. I'm going to put it in the comments to the YouTube videos coming up pretty soon, where you'll be able to get some of those resources downloadable for yourself. Because when you buy pickups from us, we give you a digital version of a bunch of wiring diagrams that our pickups might work in your guitars. So I thought if we put together some references for wiring diagrams, that might be something that you could, that we could email to you. So I think I'm going to do that. It's been on my mind for a while. He pushed me over the edge with it. I'm going to do it.
Thank you for the super chat, Thomas Torville. He said, thank you very much. And the Texas Toast guitar came in yesterday.
Oh, awesome. He bought the Blue Challenger X. Heck yeah. I missed that guitar already. That's a really good guitar. I still have the black Batfish if anybody's interested in that thing. That thing's pretty killer. I should use it in a couple of videos so people know I have it still.
They can hear you.
Oh, I know. I was mumbling to them as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
John OJF, best gear purchase, the Moxie Wampler, hands down, exceptional.
Isn't that thing good? That is such a good pedal. I have that one sitting right here somewhere too. That is such a great pedal. I really, really like it a lot.
Lee Asbury, SE Silver Sky, although I don't play Strats, it just kind of fell into my lap. I tuned it down half step and I'm super digging it.
That's such a great guitar. It really is. Yep.
Guitar Samurai 1, made in Japan, Steve Vai, Ibanez. Jim finally got one this year.
Dude. Wow. That's cool.
Jeffrey Egan said, I would say what gear I got this year, but what I think happened this year was actually 2 or 3 years ago, so I don't know. I feel that, Jeffrey.
Funny.
I feel that. Oh my gosh.
I know what my favorite gear is.
Okay.
My Fiore, because I got that this year, even though I ordered it forever ago. It actually came out this year. I ordered it in February or something. When it came out, and I got it in, October? It took forever to get here, but that's my favorite guitar. And then my favorite amp would be this Princeton Reverb Tone Master. It's so good.
TJK Audio says, best gear I bought in 2022 was an Eminence DV77 and Celestion K100. Honorable mention to the Jackson Pro Series Misha Mansour 7-string and LTD EC1000 and with Duncans.
So he's a shreddy guy. That's cool.
That was a lot of big words.
Yeah.
BC Rich 581 says Fender Telecaster Deluxe neck through with coil taps for the twin humbuckers. Best purchase I made this year.
Nice.
Alan Pettibone, favorite guitar of the year was my Godin Montreal Premier HT. I play it damn near every day.
I really like doing this where we talk about your stuff because, I mean, you all already know what I have, so we don't need to talk about what I have. But I like to know because when we're thinking about video ideas and stuff, the questions that comes up in these things and the hanging out with you guys and knowing what you're into or what you want to buy or it just helps. So it's really fun. I love knowing all this stuff. It's great.
Martian Murray said, I finally got my Dark Knight Pro 2 Jazzmaster.
Ooh.
All right. So I think these are questions.
Oh, we should get going on them then.
Well, I actually want to do this a little different. Oh, let me make sure I have not skipped any.
Thank you for all the likes.
Oh, Sean McMillan says, my Fender headstock tuner with mini USB charger. Never worry about batteries again.
Oh, nice.
Fat Philosopher, coolest gear would be my Gold Sparkle ESP Viper 400.
Wow.
Brian Mills, best gear, my new Texas Toast Daily Driver. First new guitar in 10 years.
Wow.
That's cool, Brian. All right, so... yeah, so that's the ones I'd grabbed. It's going to get all out of order, so we're going to blast through some of the ones that just came in.
Okay.
And then we'll move on. So.
Okay. No, this is super fun.
All right, I'm going to go backwards. So we're going to start at the bottom, and then we're not going to go anymore.
Okay.
Angel Raven 444. Best gear this year for me was a $150 Dollah, DOLLAH. $150 Strat and $80 Line 6 Pod Time X3, all from pawn shops.
So, oh, that's cool. The deal is probably part of how fun that is. Yeah.
Ison said, I got an inspired by Gibson Epiphone 335 Fender Player Series HHS D'Angelico Bedford, I don't know. Gibson 2008 Les Paul Studio 40th Anniversary Squire Strat, PRS SE Custom 24, Boss GX 100, Yamaha Revstar Standard.
That dude bought almost as much gear as me this year.
He had a fun year.
Yeah, he did. That's awesome.
Van Shank Guitar said, coolest things I bought this year, the Made in Mexico Fender Player Telecaster and a Squire Contemporary Jazz Bass.
Oh, that's right. You did get that.
And I'm missing a super chat. Van Shank Guitars, thank you for the super chat. He says another gear roast soon.
I'm working on something that's going to take the gear roast to the next level. Just be patient with me for a few weeks. I think beginning of the year in January, we're going to do some really fun stuff. Because I like the idea of showcasing y'all's gear and having a way that we can communicate on this more. Because this is really fun I'm not kidding. I really like it. Here's why. YouTube comments are an inaccurate representation of what people are really like or what they're into. Because if we have, let's say over the course of a week, we have, 8,000 people watch a video. And there's 40 comments on that video, and 20 of those comments are like, this video is dumb, I don't like this gear, it's stupid gear. Well, if there's 4,000 views on the video and only 20 people commented and they don't like it, that doesn't speak to the majority of the people. And it also what we read in groups on Facebook and what we read on, the gear page, and, then you look at what's marketed in the magazines. I just don't think it's a real accurate picture of what we're all actually doing in real life. And so I want to give us a way to show that stuff off. And so I'm working on a thing. So just be patient with me. And I think we're going to, on a more regular basis, be able to, share stuff better. I think it might work. We'll see what happens.
Pooh Ninja said it should be air fryer gear. It's hotter and faster. Okay, you ready for some
My
questions?
favorite gear of the year is a knife, so.
All right.
That's for after 9 o'clock. I'll tell you what my favorite piece of non-guitar gear this year was. How about that?
After 9, or are you going to keep talking?
No, after 9.
All right. Todd Johnson.
Teaser.
Do you make a Telly pickup compatible with the Duncan quarter pounder?
We don't make those 1/4-inch magnets. We don't have those 1/4-inch magnets, but we do. What I would put in place of a 1/4 pounder is our T90, because it's really, really good, and it hits like the 1/4 pounder does.
T-Bone. Hey, Dylan, if you had your choice between a 2011 American Standard Strat or a PRS SE Silver Sky, what would you choose?
A 2011 American Standard Strat? That's a tough decision. My immediate answer, like gut reaction answer, is the PRS all day long. I think it feels better, but an American Standard Strat from that vintage is pretty good. So I don't know. I'd still want the PRS, I think.
All right. I don't know what this question went with. Ed Dupree said, do the pots make a difference?
Yeah, I don't know what that...
Do pots make a difference? Let's make it an overarching question.
Oh, okay. Do pots make a difference? Absolutely. We have tons of videos on this. It's our most popular video we've ever made, actually. Episode number 10. And 7 years ago. And if maybe he's talking in reference to the picture that we put up earlier.
Maybe.
They function in the same, like, vintage wiring versus modern wiring. They function the same way. But like a 500K pot, you would notice it more. I guess I would say that.
Phil Sequeri. I realize I don't know how to say your name, Phil. I recognize you. He's the JP. JP Ma is how I always say it. Dylan, I have a Squire Mini 2 that is dying for a set of your Bonnevilles. Maybe down the road when there is some extra.
Yeah, that'd be a good setup for those.
Jim Cunningham, what is that shiny little chrome pickup on the Squire?
On what Squire?
Do you have a Squire?
Shiny little chrome pickup on a Squire. I don't know.
Okay. Can we elaborate, Jim? I don't know. It's hard for you to ask questions while we're talking if it's related to something we're talking about, because we can't take them in the moment.
Yeah, and it's also like a 40-second delay or something.
Yeah. Paul Needs. Have I got this right? The slugs in a humbucker aren't magnetized? Could they be in both coils with no screws in the second coil?
So they're magnetized via the magnet that goes underneath them. In and of themselves, they are not magnetized. They are just steel slugs. Usually 1016 or 1023 steel. But you could make a pickup with magnetized slugs and no magnet underneath. A good example of this would be the Cunif humbuckers from Fender from the 70s, or the new Tim Shaw ones would be an example.
Dylan Kent Stewart. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Street String Works. Street String Works. E-Art. I don't know. Anyway, Dylan, can you give us the schematic of that Revstar?
I will post something like it when I do the video, yes.
Embry Smith wants to know what's in the glass.
Jefferson's Ocean, voyage number 23.
Fat Philosopher, what do you think of the Lynch mod for a push-pull pot?
I don't know what that is. I will keep going, and I'm going to look it up.
Okay. Curtis Chavez, do you or anyone here have experience with a Fernandez Z03? I was hoping to pick one up for a knockabout porch and office guitar. Thank you.
I do not know what it is.
He could have gotten an answer. I don't know. In the comments.
This is an amp thing.
Solano Speed Shop. I saw that my DAF pair shipped this week. Excited to get them. I should have the guitar and its matching bass, also with your pickup, done mid-January. Got one more in the works. Might try your P90s.
Awesome. We're shipping a bunch of center punches tomorrow.
You kind of touched on this, but David Corbett asked, which guitars have you sold?
We just sold the Purple Kramer. I still have the Gibson, the McPherson, the Pink Schecter MGK, and my Silver Sky.
Let's see. So David Cornblatt, Dylan, if you had to choose between Seymour's or DiMarzio's, which way would you go?
Seymour.
And then he said, what brand or type of peanut butter do you like?
Oh, choose Mom's, choose Jeff.
Yeah.
Brown. Brown lid.
I mean, peanut butter's always brown.
I know, brown lid though.
The natural.
Yeah.
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 That's funny.
Choose Mom's,
so what's
choose
funny,
Jeff.
Angel Raven 444 says, hey Dylan, what's a good price to pay for stock made in Mexico loaded pick guard? Fat Philosopher said, whatever Dylan is charging.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know how much those things go for. I don't know. I don't buy a lot of parts like that. So.
And he clarified his question. It's by George Lynch. Pull for neck, push for bridge. Whatever that Lynch.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I was trying to Google it just now, and it
You're getting amp stuff, huh?
Yeah, and I'm getting amp stuff, so I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking at. That'd be a fun thing to do, though, is just keep adding to a wiring diagram database so that people can have ideas.
Jim Cunningham asked the question about the Squire, about the shiny pickup. Yep. He said it was a 2000 plus, so I guess something 2000 Squire with a humbucker in the neck and a chrome single coil looking thing in the bridge. All I know.
Is it something where they put a telly pickup in the bridge position? I don't know.
If you find a picture, Jim, email it to him.
And if somebody else knows what he's talking about, chime in the comments, because I don't remember that. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist, obviously.
He saw it.
Yeah, no.
That's all he knows, though.
I don't know.
Kosh Naranik wants to know, do you ever have a one-on-one conversation with viewers? I really could use a moment of your time before I start selling my guitar collection.
The best way to do that is we have a level on Patreon or as a YouTube member. They're down below. It's the highest level, whatever it is. Where we do literally a live hangout with Patreon and YouTube members once a month. It's the last Monday of every month at 8 p.m. Eastern, and I do it on Zoom. And it's not one-on-one, but it is usually 5 or 6 people. And last time I hung out for like 2 hours, man. It was super fun. We like lost track of time just hanging out. It was
he said
really
I got
cool.
a lot. So we must want to flip some gear
No,
over.
that's great. If you want to do that, come and hang out.
That'd be the audience to show it off to. Also.
Yeah, because those guys like some guitars, I'll tell you what. It would be a really, because that's kind of, well, yeah, it's a neat crowd. And it's not a crowd. It's usually 5 or 6 of us sitting around talking about whatever. We don't, I used to make them into like classes and stuff, but we end up just kind of sitting around talking about guitar stuff and not guitar stuff. But it's the way that I can get the most one-on-one with the way my schedule is. I was just telling Leslie today that we have so many videos to make that I don't have time to make pickups. But we're so busy with pickups that I don't have time to make videos. And the more videos I make, the more pickups we sell. It is literally nuts. So that is the best way to do it. And it's really fun. I really enjoy doing it. We do it that once a month, and it's cool. And you would get enough time to ask whatever questions you wanted. Don't feel like because there's a few other guys there that, and gals, we've had a lady from Australia come and hang out with us a bunch before, and yeah, so just keep that in mind.
Oh, it didn't go. There it goes. Super chat from Sean McMillan. The Gibson Nighthawk had a mini humbucker in the neck and slanted mini in the bridge. What is the purpose of a slanted pickup? Also, if I recall correctly, you dislike mini humbuckers. Why?
I'll tell you the dislike thing. First of all, they're a pain in the butt to make. But I'm working on that because so many people want them. So that's kind of in the works. I'll tell you that right now. The reason I don't like them is I would rather have a P90 or a real humbucker. It's kind of, I don't know. I don't understand the purpose of it. I know that people like the sound, how they sound, because they are very unique. I personally would just rather have a vintagey kind of humbucker or a P90. Mostly a P90. Let's talk about the slant. So the slant, it originates from Fender Telecasters. So the original Fender Nocaster came out, and it had a steel guitar, a lap steel pickup in it. Well, in a lap steel, they're straight up and down, right? But if you put a lap steel pickup in a guitar and you put it straight up and down, it will be so twangy, and the frequency response will be so, you won't like it. So Fender angled it so that the lower strings had a fuller low end to them, like they were supposed to, because you also have to remember at that time there were no bass guitars. So with that 50s bass wiring with the 3-way switch and that angle, they were getting bass tones out of it at the same time. So then everybody's like, well, if I put a pickup in the bridge position and I want to sweeten it up some, I'm just going to put it on an angle. So I know you're asking about a Gibson and not a Fender, but that whole mindset of doing that kind of just lasted. And a lot of people do it in a lot of different guitars for that reason.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And
regular humbuckers are wide enough where it picks up enough inches of the string away from the bridge where it doesn't do that. Doesn't need to do as much.
And so the name that I was struggling to say, I get this message. Leslie, thank you for letting me know I misspelled my name and brand. That sucks. Fix for now, I think. So it is Stewart Street String Works for everybody.
Oh, nice.
So.
Which kind of makes sense.
Yes. I was struggling though.
That's good. Sounds like something I would do. We're selling a Gibson with a boggier P90 in it right now.
Oh my gosh, no comment.
Angel, I left it that way because everybody made a joke out of it, and I just didn't want to take the joke.
Comments. Angel Raven 444. Do you notice how good the spelling is in guitar chat rooms? It's because to be a great guitarist, you need to have an IQ of 3,000.
That's funny.
Ira Tiger Bomb said, I would dig a set of killer T-Bird pickups. Rick Bonneville, hello. We'll talk about our adventures at the end of the month, the next hour. He said, Dylan, mini humbuckers are necessary for Skinner type sounds, especially in the neck.
Okay.
Caveat, Dylan, the Felix. Let me try that again. Dylan, the physics of pickups you speak of begs the question of your reference materials, books, formulas, and so on. The rest is experience, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep. It's just doing it over and over and over and over and over and thousands of times.
Stewart Street Stringworks. Why didn't any new guitars stick in the 90s? Ibanez, Talman, Squire, Vista series, etc.
I think because marketing, I think if somebody launches something new and crazy now, it's going to do better because we're in a different spot in history and the way things are marketed. The internet has changed everything. So a small, slightly obscure idea that is not traditional will do better now than it did then. That is my opinion. We should do a Tuesday about that because that is a great subject.
Super chat from Mr. Goat. Thank you for the super chat. He says, would you replace the minis on a Firebird with P90s or humbuckers? And why?
Sounds like I'm going
Hi, Leslie. It's snowing here. Probably going to have to eat girl cat.
Gross.
That's better than girl baby.
So Chinese.
Baby girl.
So he's having egg rolls is what he's saying.
Oh.
Or stir fry. Anyway, it sounds like I'm going to have to make Firebird pickups because...
What would you replace them with? Or are you just saying you're going to make Firebird?
I guess I'll have to just make
Well, he's
Firebird.
asking about minis.
That's the same thing, yeah.
Oh, Firebird pickups are mini humbuckers?
They are a form of it, yes.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Curtis Chavez says, I would LOL if Leslie started fidgeting a knife alongside Dylan. I have a fun fidgeting.
She has a fun fidgeting knife.
Actually, what is that thing you bought me? I haven't practiced. What is that thing?
Oh, the Bella song?
Yeah, whatever that
butterfly
is.
knife?
I made a joke like, oh, I should learn how to do that. And then he bought me one, and I haven't learned anything.
This is probably an after 9 o'clock question.
It's almost there.
But, yeah, let's keep going with guitar stuff, but I'm going to ask you about your knife.
I'm caught up. What do you want me to tell you about?
What are you fidgeting now that you have a few? What are you sitting there at your desk at work in meetings fidgeting right now?
So you know what's funny is since I changed my desk, I don't feel as fidgety because I can't reach any of that stuff.
Oh, because you got the thing and moved it around, yeah.
Yeah. So I haven't been fidgety.
Oh, interesting.
I don't have time to be fidgety.
Yeah, you've been busy.
So I did use my knife to open a bunch of boxes.
Which one?
The latest one.
The new Civivi?
Sure.
The
heavy one. The purple.
Yeah.
The purple and black one.
That is a... They're all purple and black. That was a Civivi Cogent. That's what that is.
I'm not going to remember that. What's the other one?
You have a Benchmade bug out.
Normal size.
You have the big Benchmade bug out.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have Benchmade bug out scales on it. It has the Flytanium G10 scales.
Right. And then a Microtech something.
You have a Microtech UTX 70.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
I could flick that. I could just sit here and switchblade you the whole time. It's so loud.
It is loud.
All right.
She carries the Microtech UTX 70 in her purse. So don't mess with her.
Doc Siltonen says, Firebirds are awesome. If you're making them, I'll buy more.
Yeah, he's bought some from me before. He talked me into it a few years ago and I made them for him.
Paul Need says, the experience issue begs a question. Do you think your current pickups are much better than the first ones you sold?
I don't think I've ever sold a bad sounding pickup. I think...
And you still own the first set, so they can't be bad.
No, they're in my Strat. Yeah. I still have them. I think the quality of our product has gotten better. I think consistency always gets better. I'm always getting better. We are getting better. Things are better. I wouldn't ever say that what we first made wasn't good because it was great. Otherwise, I wouldn't have sold it.
I think the experience come with like, I feel like you've gotten better about inventory and ordering. Because when you first started, it was like daily ordering and expedited shipping, and it was like really not efficient business. So I do think, that is an experience thing.
That.
Yeah.
We're making 2 orders a month instead of 3 orders a week. Because this screw works in all of these different pickups, and then all of a sudden you get down to it and you're like, oh, I need to make this other pickup, but I'm out of this one screw. And it so all of that stuff has gotten a lot better. And with Bryson helping me out now, I feel like things are getting better because the way we do things is more efficient. So like last week we made like 40 single coils, and this week we're making like 40 humbuckers. Like we're doing it in batches. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's getting that, to me, that makes the products better, because when you're sitting down and doing one of a thing and then changing and then doing another thing, I don't think it's as consistent. So I feel like we're getting better. Yeah.
Super chat from Doug Santinella. Thank you for the super chat, Doug. He says, I just bought Lawler mini humbuckers because you don't make them.
Well, you bought the right ones because those are real good.
Angel Raven 444 wants to know, Dylan, name the 10 guitars you're not selling. Do you have 10 guitars?
Do I have 10 guitars that I'm not selling? No. I have 3. I have 3 guitars that are not on that list.
You have more than that.
4.
How many guitars do you own that you're
keeping? That I own? So I have my red Strat.
What's your original acoustic
that is never getting sold, yes. Yeah. And then I have my Sigma, my grandpa's acoustic.
Yep.
I have my Breedlove, it's not getting sold.
Yep.
And I have the guitar that Don built me.
Yes.
That's not getting sold.
Yes.
That's 4.
That's it? Anything else is up for grabs?
Pretty much. Oh, and I didn't put my Fiore on the list. So that's 5. So everything else is on 10. The list. Yeah.
I have 3 minutes left, so
3 minutes until we just go off topic. Not 3 minutes.
Yeah, Paul Need says, I wasn't suggesting they were bad for an instant. And yes, if you have a named pickup rather than custom winding everyone, consistency is absolutely essential.
Yeah, that's the trick. When you learn, anybody can wind a pickup. I can teach you how to wind a pickup in an hour. Like, that's really fun. I love teaching people to do it. The consistency comes when you have to make 50 of them and have them all sound exactly the same. Mm-hmm. That's the trick. And that's where it takes understanding, because we do it all by hand. So understanding tension and understanding, training Bryson and actually training everybody that we've done in all these classes, the same thing. It's, for even them to have, now we have people that have made pickups for multiple guitars that they have in their home. And I'm curious to know, does the first pair sound as good as the second pair, Like, it's an interesting thing.
Joe Coach says, when it comes to high-end Epiphone Gibson collabs versus Gibson early entry models, resale aside, which would you buy?
I would buy whatever guitar makes you happy. I was thinking about that today because we were watching the Trivium, and Matt Heafy has that white Les Paul, and he had that weird strap around his neck, And then I was also thinking about the Adam Jones thing's $1,200, but it has the painting on the back and stuff. I am of the firm opinion that you should buy whatever guitar you feel like buying, and you should buy if you're buying your first guitar, or you're buying the guitar that you're going to play as your number one thing, then buy the best guitar that you can afford. But if it comes down to, like the guy earlier with the 2011 Fender Strat versus a brand new Silver Sky SE, or it comes down to a $1,200 Joe Bonamassa Epiphone 335, or an entry-level satin finished Les Paul for the same money from Gibson, then don't worry. The guitar you will play better and sound better on is the guitar that you're happier with.
Mm-hmm.
So just get the one you want. This guitar is worth this in relation to this other thing and for the money and all that stuff is stupid in my opinion. Get the guitar that you want. If it's $200 and it's super cool and you wanted it, I have guitars like that. I just bought that $500 Revstar. It's great. I played it a bunch today. And it's fun. So I enjoy having it. I mean, I'm only going to have it for a couple weeks, but get the best. If you're only going to have one, get the best guitar you can afford. And then if it becomes a choice between two, get the one that makes you happy. That's...
Doc Siltonen says, the pickups I made sound awesome, but if I'm honest with myself, your pickups that are the same sound better. Not as trebly, just fuller.
So that is tension. So what he's talking about there is he has gone to our class and learned how to make pickups, and he made P90s.
Mm-hmm.
He also has played and has my P90s in some of his other guitars. And if he said his were more trebly and mine were more full, that's because I have more even tension in my pickup, on the pickup wire. That's a perfect example. I'm glad he commented because I was thinking of when I said it earlier.
All right. So are you going to introduce or do some housekeeping about what is happening now?
So it's 9 o'clock.
We did not answer all the questions either.
Well, that's how it works. It's 9 o'clock. This is off-topic time. The only way you can ask a guitar question from now until we end the live stream, at whatever time that is if you use a super chat. Other than that, you can only ask off-topic questions from now. We are not talking about guitar stuff from at all. So,
all right. I already have one question.
Go for it. Yeah.
After 9 o'clock question, they submitted it a while back. But
nice.
Would the two of you consider a swing through Canada? An excuse to see Dylan roaming through Godin guitars comes to mind.
Yeah. I would like to go to Canada. I mean, Canada's a big place. But yes, there are some people in Canada that I would like to go see. Some places in Canada that I would like to go see. For sure. That is definitely on the list. I don't know when, and I don't know what the logistics of those are right now because we are in the process, in the midst of being very busy. So I don't know. Yeah.
Martian Murray wants to... Oh, that was Cabioth's question, by the way. I apologize.
Thank you.
Martian Murray said, do you have any left-handed knives?
So, I'm left-handed, but I'll show you. So this is a Spyderco Manix 2, and it's got the little ball lock, so it's ambidextrous, right? So you can do this. And I don't know if you saw me messing around, but I actually, with my left hand, I write with my left hand, but I have a harder time manipulating stuff with my left hand. It's weird. Like the other fingers on my hand don't work as good as the first two. Like here I have a pen in my pocket. So when you write with a pen, you use these three fingers, right? These other fingers don't work as well. I actually do better with right-handed stuff that's not writing. I can write with my right hand too, but like this knife, this is the knife I carry every day. And this is Chris Reeve Sabenza, and this is a right-handed knife. And I actually was wondering if I should have got the one with double studs, but I can't do it with my left hand anyway. For some reason, I don't know. It's a weird thing that I'm left-handed, but my left hand doesn't work as good. weird.
All right.
Speaking of not guitar-related gear, that's my favorite gear of the year. This is it. My Chris Reeve Sabinza. I absolutely love this thing. People are like, I can't believe you carry that. Because a lot of people will like case queen it. Man, I beat the crap out of this thing and it still looks brand new. It's awesome.
Ready?
Yep.
Elephant foot risers, Bitcoin or CBDC? I don't know what that is.
I am not a cryptocurrency person because I don't believe in make-believe things. I really wanted to be. We really looked into it super serious early on. But I just...
Not early enough to be
But
millionaires.
not early enough, yeah. You know, I have a friend who did really well with it. But I don't know. I'm so busy doing all this.
I think it takes a lot of research and following and action. And
yeah, it's like almost
I'm not interested enough
day
to
trading to the next level. And
Yeah.
we just don't have the mental bandwidth for it because we're doing all this stuff all the time. And this is a real living for us. So
IBJI says Janet or Chrissy. I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is either.
Janet or Chrissy who? Like, I think we're missing something.
Yeah, I don't know.
If it's a trendy TV show, we're out.
Yeah,
just saying.
If it's something now.
Yeah.
Janet Jackson or Chrissy Hind, I'm going, that'd be hard.
I don't know who the Chrissy Hind person is.
The Pretenders. I'm going Janet Jackson.
I would be Janet Jackson. I don't even know who Chrissy is. I don't know what you're asking though, IBJ.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that applies.
Joe Coach, what's your favorite food to eat that only makes an appearance during the holidays?
We're not real big holiday people.
And if I want something, I'm just going to make it.
Yeah, and we're just going to make food whenever we want. That being said, your mom makes that, she makes the bean dip thing.
That's not holiday related, but okay.
Yeah, but it's only when like family gets together and stuff.
Okay.
She doesn't make it like all the time.
Okay.
And doesn't she make like a dump cake thing on the sweets side? Isn't there some kind of... I feel like there's a dessert she makes, and she has to make it special for us because we don't eat.
I don't know. I make you dump cake.
You do. I just feel like there's a couple things in the past that we've like, even just for leftovers, like they've done holiday stuff and then we've gone over like the next day or something. And
I don't know.
I think there's some stuff that her mom makes that I'm like, oh, I don't get to have this very often.
This is my favorite time of year because I like porters and stouts, which are typically like fall, winter, and I love anything cinnamon. So.
Yeah. Yeah, when they start selling the cinnamon brooms at the grocery store, she's like, ooh,
nice.
This is great.
Yes.
You're super basic.
I don't care.
Pumpkin spice lattes.
Nope, I haven't had one in years.
You haven't?
No, because I'm cinnamon dolce all the way.
Oh, that's right. I actually got cinnamon dolce and the little salted caramel syrups because we have an espresso machine here and we don't really go to Starbucks that much. So we make them here instead.
Janet or Chrissy is about Three's Company.
Oh, dude. No.
Novo
The answer
TNY
is no.
says, which of you is the best dancer?
I've never seen you dance, actually.
I've never seen you dance.
That is the one thing we have never done. That is so funny. We've talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about going and taking classes together,
which
I would still do. I used to dance a lot.
I used to dance a lot too.
Yeah, but you dance different than me.
Yes.
So you danced like competitive dancing, right? Like dancing competitions, not like stripper, like like actual like the acrobatic stuff and all that, right? Whatever they do. You know, jazz
Not
hands.
cheerleading, but
Anyway.
yeah.
And I used to swing dance. And I used to salsa and merengue a lot. When I lived in New York, we'd go to the Lincoln Center. We'd dance a lot. I had friends that did it. We would dress up in all the 20s and 30s suits and do that stuff when I was in my early 20s, but it's been a long time.
It's a funny question.
It is. We've never had that question.
Someone's dad says Montreal is awesome, and I say that as a Savanian. I've never heard that word, but that's pretty funny.
I like Montreal, actually. I've been there a bunch of times.
Yeah, so Dylan has been to Canada. I have not.
My family's from Canada, so I've been there a bunch of times.
I would love to go to Toronto, mainly for the food, and Vancouver, mainly for the food.
Yeah, which are two completely opposite ends.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. In Flagrant Dan Electro, I don't know, Beatles or Elvis?
Elvis, all the way.
Doc Siltonen, how's the Porsche search coming along? By the way, I'm happy to toast when you make it north of the border. Lots of cool stuff here to see, and we can get to the Frank brothers in Toronto too.
Yeah. The Porsche search is on hold at the moment because I'm working on it. I'm doing some rearranging, but I'm working on it.
Solano Speed Shop. Were you ever comfortable not being fully geared up for a ride? I could never do it, even a short ride. My buddy used to always say, no such thing as a short ride.
All the gear, all the time.
Yeah.
You only need your helmet when you crash, but you never know when that day is. Like, what we used to say? We used to say if I knew when I was going to crash, I would only use my helmet that day.
Yep.
All the gear, all the time.
Paul Need says, does swing mean the same thing as it does here? Same there as it does here? As for Canada, I want to do that coast-to-coast train journey, but I'm too sick, too old, and too poor now.
I don't know what swing means there.
Yeah, I don't know what it means
swing music,
there.
Watch the movie Swing Kids.
Well, somebody said swing through Canada. You talked about swing music. I think there's a lot of interpretation for the word swing.
We should probably move off of that word.
Angel Raven 444. I don't know how to say that. Oof. I need your help, Dylan and Leslie. I've been feeding quails for years on my property. Now I have a rat infestation. Any suggestions from you guys and chat room peeps? Thanks.
I don't have rat experience. I have.
Why do rats go with quails? I don't get that. Do they?
Because they can't fly, so they must. I wonder if they eat
Can
their
quails
eggs?
fly? Can quails fly? Anyway, that's a question I have.
Do they eat their eggs?
I don't know.
I don't either. The only rodent infestation problem I know of is prairie dogs, and we used to shoot them with subsonic 22.
So the only experience I have with like actual rats, which I didn't know were in the South. Like when I think of rats, I think of like New York City for some reason. But
right.
I didn't know there were rats in the South. But when so my first house, this was before we were together. Obviously, we bought a farmhouse. And it had a barn, and there was like where they had originally kept the feed. So it was just a lot of old feed in there. And we wanted to clean it out thinking it would attract things we did not want. But apparently they were already there. But I wasn't doing it. Somebody brought a tractor over and was like doing it. And I was in the yard and I saw these things and I was like, oh my gosh, were there cats living in there? And they were like, no, those were rats. I was like, no, they were big. They looked like cats. They were like, they were definitely rats. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, that's nasty.
I did not know.
Nah, we used to have to kill prairie dogs because they would, and my friend, who was a sniper, he's the one that taught me to shoot, so that was our practice. And we would go out to these, people would call us and we'd go out to these farms and shoot prairie dog with subsonic 22 competition rifles. And the trick with those is the one that stands up and makes the noise, he's the guy that warns everybody else. So you don't shoot him. You shoot all the other ones. Because if you shoot him, then they all go into hiding because nobody's there to warn them anymore. The like sentry guy. Prairie dog, not person.
Curtis Chavez, do you own any really cool fixed blade knives?
The only fixed blade knife I have that's cool at the moment, because this is I care more about stuff that I can carry all the time. So this is Montiago Knife Works MKM fixed blade that has a really cool little sheath that I can actually carry in my front pocket. So I do carry this. It's got like carbon fiber. It's M390 blade, and it's got carbon fiber handles on it. It's really, really cool. I really like this knife a lot, and I do carry it. So this is actually the only fixed blade I have right now. I want to get some, although I don't know, we'll see. But I want to get some like bushcrafting outdoor stuff. Like I need to get an SE6. I would really like to get one of those and some other stuff. Yeah, maybe a Tops.
Ira Tiger Mom says, I collect and love Italian autos. Inherited dad's collection and grandpa's Navy Ka-Bar. I carry obsolete K-Bar. I carry obsolete cold steel T-lights that open while leaving your pocket.
Oh, so he's talking about like the Emerson Wave, that one where you pull it out of your pocket and it snaps it open because it's got the little hook.
Oh.
It's got a little hook on the blade right here. I want an Italian. What's the guy? Frank somebody, or there's somebody. There's a couple of really good. I've been shopping for an Italian stiletto right now, but I want a good one. I don't want like one of these Chinese reproduction ones. Like I want a really good one. And I've been trying to find one, like buffalo horn handles or whatever, the 7-inch, whatever it is, like the normal, the real thing. But I haven't. I have a couple of ProTech out the side automatics that I really like, and they're kind of in that theme. But I want a real Italian stiletto. But I don't want it to be a junky one. I'm kind of picky about that.
Solano Speed Shop says, wait, you didn't dance at your wedding?
We didn't have one really.
No, we didn't. We just got married.
We didn't even tell anybody.
Nope. So no, we did not dance at our wedding. Doc says we need to take some ballroom classes. Elephant Foot Risers says, I see a tango in your future.
Heck yeah.
Rick Bonneville says, I've never seen you dance. Sounds like a song title. John Clark says he does the Monster Mash. Eric Luttinger, I don't know. When the two of you are driving together, what is playing on the radio?
It depends what time of day it is, right? We might have a podcast on. We might have some like modern rocky stuff. It's never classic rock. Like new, trying to find new random stuff. Sometimes you'll be like, "Hey, I heard this in something." And
we do a lot of exploring.
Yeah, we do a lot of exploring for new music
if we're on a trip. And then I think we get really focused if we're like having to push through driving, and you'll listen to something that's interesting to you that I don't care about.
Yeah.
And when I'm driving, I will listen to like my actual playlist because I will just sing and drive, and it helps me pay attention.
Oh yeah, yeah. So when she's driving, there's a lot of 90s hip hop. I don't really care because I'm not one of these people who's like, this music sucks. I want to hear everything. So I like everything pretty much. There isn't very much music that I don't like. Christmas music's stupid. But, so I don't care to listen to the radio until January. But yeah, we explore a lot, I would say.
Michael F. says, my wife booked me a Texas Toast class for Christmas. See you in March.
Right on.
Rick Bonneville says, Winnipeg is a must when you come to Canada. Timothy Potter says, I would love to take waltz classes. I love the sound of a good waltz. Curtis Chavez says, I've danced the Eagle dance and the two-step. That's about it. Charles Wallace, I have 2 EDC knives, my Kershaw and a...
CRKT.
Is that what you just say the letters?
Mm-hmm.
Intention in my left pocket because it opens with a rear assist. I can open it with my left hand.
It's actually Columbia River Knife Company, but CR.
Elephant Foot Riser says, Elvis over Beatles. I want a refund. Wait.
I'll give you your refund. I don't care about the Beatles. I'm just going to say that. I recognize them for their historical impact, and I love hearing about their songwriting stories and everything that happened to them, but the bottom line is they were the Backstreet Boys of the 60s. They were just a boy band. That's all they were. And okay, I know they played their own music. I get that. But I don't know. I'm not a... And there's some songs, some versions of songs, like Eleanor Rigby, for example. I love that song. But that goes back to my dad playing it when I was a kid. Like, that's a memory thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if it comes on the radio, or classic rock in general, comes on the radio, I'm skipping it. I don't usually... I'm kind of over it. But the Beatles I don't care about. Or the Beach Boys. Don't care about the Beach Boys. But I would skip over Elvis too, but skip over Elvis less quickly.
Caveat. Dylan, would you take a Harley V-Rod in lieu of a Porsche? Porsche designed the engine after all.
No, because I don't like V-Rods. I've ridden them, and they wanted them to be super sporty and cool, and they were super sporty and cool, but at that time in Harley's life, that bike ended up not doing anything very well. If I was going to have any Harley Davidson right now, it would be the Sportster S. That bike is really good. I've ridden that bike, and it's really, really good.
Apparently quail can fly. I thought so.
Okay, I don't know. I just always see them running around like they're little round butts with heads.
Yes.
They're like little bird butts with heads.
We just took some pictures of some.
Yeah, we saw some recently.
Steve Rezer, Titanic or Toxic Avenger? Which one is the better love story? What's Toxic Avenger?
I don't know what Toxic Avenger is. I think Titanic was terrible.
So Titanic for me, I won't tell you
there were
how
boobs in it.
Old I was because I was really young. But I had just studied symbolism in writing and movies. So that was a terribly long movie, but I literally cried through the whole thing because my brain was focused on the symbolism. That's all I saw. And I literally had to watch it again because I think I missed the premise of the story because I was so focused on the symbolism, and I just cried the whole time.
I thought the movie was fantastic and really well done production-wise, because I'm a video guy, so I look at that stuff, and I come from that background with my parents and stuff. But Leonardo DiCaprio did not have to let go of that door. He didn't have to. They both would have died equally or not died at all. He did not have to let go of the door. And it completely ruined the rest of the movie for me. It's like, this is the dumbest ending. I just sat here for 5 hours and you let go of the door, and you didn't have to let go of the door. I'm not wrong.
Oh my gosh. I can't. I just can't with you. Oh my gosh, we are way behind. I'm going to grab this, and then we have to scroll way back up. Super chat from Sir Sneaker Pimp. Thank you for the super chat.
Great band.
Highline Guitars have an episode called Guitar Building Channels Worth Watching. You get a Major League Mount Rushmore shout out on his channel. It's great to see how respected you are from your peers.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I've known Chris peripherally for a long time, and he is a very good person. I like him a lot.
All right, I'm going to scroll back up. So we're super behind, apparently,
It's okay.
allegedly. Oh my gosh. Rick Bonneville, do you shoot left or right?
Guns, left. That's weird, right?
Rusty.
Rifles, too.
Rusty. Damascus steel, just pretty or quality material?
Depends on what it's made of. I have a couple of Civivis up there that are, Civivis are made in China. And their Damascus is not as good as, like, Alabama Damascus. So I don't know. I don't have any really good Damascus. That's on my list.
Chip Crooks. Hey, Dylan, have you ever had a chance to Oh, that's a guitar question. Sorry. This week he's carrying a Spyderco Para 3. I'll read that comment. Ira Tiger Bomb.
Great name.
Do you eat black-eyed peas on New Year's?
You do. I don't.
I do not eat them on New Year's.
Well, you don't eat them on New Year's.
He never eats black-eyed peas.
She eats them all year.
Yeah, I love black-eyed peas, but we are not... what's the word?
I call them stinky beans.
What's the word? He calls all beans stinky beans.
No, just those.
No, I've not made black-eyed peas in forever. You call them all the same.
Oh, okay. I mean, maybe. Yeah.
Speckled butter beans, Crowder peas. You call them all the
Those
same.
aren't the same?
As black-eyed peas, they're all different.
I guess I didn't know.
He eats no beans. Unless they are black beans, he doesn't eat any beans.
I eat black beans, and I've been trying to eat lentils.
Yeah, and he will eat chickpeas, I guess.
And
That's
I do
true
eat chickpeas,
too.
yeah. But I do like lentil soup. Like,
mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't sell my birthright for it, but I do like it.
Anyway. Let's see. People are saying they were a garage band, not a boy band. Rusty, is there a vintage dirt bike you would like to own?
Not a vintage dirt bike. Because vintage dirt bikes were terrible, actually. I would like to own a bunch of vintage motorcycles, though. A Mike Halewood Ducati is at the top of the list.
Rusty said, superstitious is the word I was thinking of. Because they're supposed to be for, like, good luck. And I just don't care about that or believe in that.
Oh, yeah. No, none of the superstitious stuff.
Rusty says black-eyed peas anytime, but especially on New Year's. Stewart Street Stringworks. I thought you left. You said bye. Dylan, left-handed, dominant eye.
Left, because my right eye is lazy. If you ever watch my videos, you'll see this one wanders a little bit, or if I'm really tired. I've had surgery on it 3 times to correct it as good as it is now. But when I'm really tired, it'll start to go.
Angel Raven 444 says, hey Dylan, will you and Leslie do a show with Doug DeMuro or Savage Geese or Jay Leno and stream about car stuff next week?
I would love to do
amazing.
A show with any of those guys. Yeah. Savage Geese. I want to do I want to do a show with the Straight Pipes guys. I would love to do a show with Throttle House. I'd love to shoot with any of those guys. Donut. Oh yeah, Donut for sure. I want to meet Doug DeMuro because
I just want to be there so every time he says passenger side, I can say, oh, my best friend's ride.
Yes, exactly.
Because that's all. This?
Yeah.
He gets on my nerves. But it's his thing.
It is his thing.
I like listening to him, but it's just his,
I mean, you think
he talks about quirky things. He is quirky in the way he presents it. So it does make sense, but it makes me laugh every time.
Yeah.
Because you are choosing to watch it. Most of the time I'm not paying attention.
Yeah.
So it just like, all of a sudden it's like this? And I'm like, okay.
Well, it's better than
Cletus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stephen Frazier says, how do you organize and store all of your stuff?
I have. So we hang guitars in here. I hang my bicycle there. The amps are stacked here.
He says Stewart Street Stringworks says he can't sleep. So he must have said bye, and then he was like, I guess I'll stay.
most of my knives are in a case up there. All the parts for the guitar pickups and stuff, I have one of those. It's a cart with all the little tiny bins on it, and it rolls out of the. We have a walk-in closet over there, and it rolls out. Roll out. And
I already did that. Too late.
Okay. And yeah, and then I can push it back in.
Let's see. Stewart Street Stringwork says, get in touch with Vice Grip Garage.
Yeah, I could see that too.
Rusty says, who is your favorite comedian?
Ooh.
Do they have to be alive?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite comedian? I don't know that I have a favorite. Because I like lots of things at different times, but it doesn't mean I like all of their comedy. Similar to music, I guess. Yeah. I like certain things, but I don't necessarily like all of it.
I think lots of things are funny. I like really edgy stuff. But the first name that comes to mind that I'll go with is Mitch Hedberg.
That's who I would have guessed for you.
Mitch Hedberg and Stephen Wright. That really dry, ironic humor that's me all the time, really. So, I mean, I'm not dry, but I'm dry on YouTube, but I'm not dry in real life. It's really hard to tell people that, but and have them believe it.
Or admit it.
No. Well, the subject matter's dry. That's the problem. Yeah. If we were talking about slinkies and bouncy houses, I wouldn't be so dry, but we're talking about capacitors.
Lewis Black? I don't know who that is.
Oh, Lewis Black's funny as... Yes.
Okay. And people are talking amongst themselves, and yeah, Doc said the weather, talking to Doug, the weather at your house looks way better than at my house. Doug has been posting those fire pictures every night, and I'm like, oh, that looks really nice. Yeah. So kudos to you, Doug, for taking the time to relax, because I feel like every time we've seen you, you're like
running
so
100.
Busy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's getting to the tail end of some of the big projects at his house.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well,
are we getting pretty caught up? What else are we
supposed to be talking about?
I don't know. Is there any questions coming in there, or are we...
Guitar questions, but we're not talking about
those.
We're
not talking about guitar questions after 9 o'clock unless it's super chat. I'll stay for those, though.
Oh, let's talk about this.
Oh, wine. Yeah, we need to talk about wine.
December... I already forgot. 29th? I don't want to be wrong. Thursday, December 29th. The last Thursday of the month. Rick Bonneville is going to guide us through the tasting of this Rodney Strong Cab 2019 Sonoma County. It should be, we paid less than $15. I'm assuming you could probably get it anywhere for less than $20. I'm hoping that was our goal. This is what Rick recommended. We accidentally found it when I was shopping for something else. I was like, oh, wait, I think that's what we're supposed to get. So we picked it up so that we could show you until we are doing this at the end of the month.
Yep.
And that will be at 9 o'clock after.
Yeah, 9 o'clock after the guitar stuff.
Yep.
And a bunch of questions just came in, I think.
Okay.
Or I saw some.
Somebody said, not sure Mitch Hedberg is edgy in 2022. Fair. Someone's dad said that. Yeah. All right, I'm going to scroll back up. Rick Bonneville says Andrew Dice Clay. Rusty, what is the most original movie you have seen? For me, Jojo Rabbit. I don't know what that means. What does original movie mean?
What does original movie mean? It is getting harder. I will say that it's getting harder to find a movie that's not just a remake of a remake of a remake, which is a thing, right? Like, to always have, remakes. I don't know. I like movies, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time watching them, and I'm not somebody to race to the theater every time a new movie comes out either.
We used to be all the kid movies. I can tell you about all kid movies from like 1990 until
2016, probably.
Yeah, 2016.
Something like that.
Because I have a much younger sister, and then I had children, and then
until our kids got old enough to
drive,
basically. Once they got old enough to drive,
they haven't stopped watching kid movies.
No, because they are still watching kid movies.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Let's see. Sir Sneaker Pimp, do you watch MotoGP Unlimited on Amazon? The next season starts in February. I'm a southpaw too. I play guitar right-handed and have similar hand issues that you described.
I didn't know about this MotoGP Unlimited thing on where?
Amazon.
I'm going to check that out. I do watch all the races, but I didn't know. Is it like the Formula One thing on Netflix? Like where it's behind the scenes thing? Because that would be really cool. I don't know what it is, but I will definitely go and check it out. Probably right after we do.
Sean McMillan, have you ever experienced amnesia and deja vu at the same time?
That sounds like a joke my dad would say.
I feel like that is what deja vu is, though. Like, it feels familiar, but you can't remember at the same time, like, why it feels, I think.
My dad joke is like, I've never had deja vu, but I've had vuja day. It's the feeling that I've never, ever been here before.
That sounds like something you're...
Yeah, my dad would say.
Doc Stiltonen, so where are you guys going next? We're going to Nashville this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that's on the books.
Yeah, we don't have Doc
said it's $30 in Canada. Sorry about that. That's like double.
What's that metric money?
Charles Wallace says, any new RC stuff?
My latest RC thing is actually this, but it's been a while. Because we were going to the lake every weekend with the van, and so I got a boat. And I had it like 5 minutes, and I broke it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a shear pin back here in the rudder, and I fixed it, and we ran it a few more times, and then it got to where it wasn't lake season anymore. But this thing's really fun. It's really fast. Super fast.
Solano Speed Shop says, the fabulous Mr. Fox. That was pretty original. We did see that.
Yeah, is that the one with the crazy eyes?
Yeah, is that the one where it's like...
the kids were going, cuss. They were saying cuss all the time after that.
What the cuss?
What the cuss? They were saying that all the time.
Charles Wallace says, I will have tea while you guys have wine, but it's all good. Yes, absolutely. So you don't have to drink to participate. I'm mostly interested in what Rick is going to share with us.
Yeah.
Because, and of course, that's just a learning opportunity in and of itself, whether you have it or not. So I get that. I mean, I don't drink every day. I don't know. I might not drink that day either. Who knows?
Yeah, we don't drink.
Except I did learn today that I should drink more Guinness.
Oh yeah, because
there was this like random health fact. Oh,
Texas Toast.
Yeah, Texas Toast talked about it. I was like, is that for real? I'm going to Google that. And I Googled it. And sure enough, there's some strange health claims from Guinness. And then women in general, I should be having like 2 drinks a day. I'm way behind. Stuart Street String Works. I think he might be more tired than he realized because we're getting like delirium questions. You ready?
Yep.
So the Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot have a guitar battle versus Hank Williams Jr. and Satan. 2 versus 2. What are their rigs?
Wait, Loch Ness Monster and who?
Bigfoot.
Well, Bigfoot plays the Les Paul.
He's on a shirt, duh.
Loch Ness Monster. Actually, Bigfoot has a Strat on my shirt. He has a Les Paul in the photoshopped thing on the internet that I got the idea from, but I put a Strat in his hand when I made the shirt.
Okay. Sorry.
But he plays a Les Paul. Loch Ness Monster, he can't do anything. I think he plays a piano.
Aw, with what?
With his
tail?
Paws.
A Loch Ness Monster is the...
He's like a brontosaurus.
I thought he was the sea thing.
Yeah, but isn't he like a big brontosaurus?
He doesn't have arms. I thought he was like a big snake.
Oh.
I could be wrong.
Well, then maybe he plays... I don't know. a woodwind of some sort. And then
everybody know. I mean, Hank Williams Jr. has a rig.
Yeah, Hank Williams Jr. has a rig. You can Google that.
And Satan plays a fiddle, right?
Duh. Duh. In Georgia.
Yeah.
Where we are.
All right.
That was easy.
Paul Need said, I asked, sorry, I missed it, Paul. Paul Need says, I asked what Damascus steel is and does it compare to Japanese sword steel?
So Damascus steel is actually Japanese sword steel. Is made the same sort of, the same sort of way. So Damascus is a bunch of layers of steel smashed together, and then when they grind the angle of the blade into it, then you can see the layers of the steel. A Japanese sword is made of a bunch of, it's different. It's made of a bunch of pieces of steel that are folded, then folded, then folded, then folded, and then hammered. So it is kind of the same in the respect that there's layers of steel that you then see, and they call that the is it called the hamon line in it down the sword? I did a bunch of reading about and watching videos about Japanese sword steel because I really, really want a Japanese sword, but again, I want a real one, not a fake reproduction one. So, and they are expensive, like way expensive. So that's kind of.
He said, "Good enough. Thanks for humoring me about the rigs."
Oh.
Sir Sneaker Pimp says I think he's telling you about the MotoGP. It's done in a documentary style. I absolutely love it.
Oh.
You get to see everything. Their injuries are eye-opening. I thought I knew what tough was. These riders are tough. You'll really enjoy it.
Yeah, them boys break their everything.
Doc Siltonen, I didn't know this because obviously I wasn't watching. He had Texas Toast on the TV and then he was reading the comments himself, so I wasn't following along with the comments. But Doc apparently was the one that told him about Guinness. So he said, "You're welcome."
Yeah, he was.
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah.
I would have believed it if I
Yeah, Doc's pretty smart. Yeah.
I had to Google it because I didn't know who it came from.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Charles Wallace. Any trips north? Would take another road trip to have lunch with you guys. Meeting you guys is still a highlight.
No, but.
That's really nice.
But, thank you. But, and this is sort of guitar related, but I'll throw it in for those of you that have stuck around this long. I talked to Austin today. And Austin says that having a pickup winding class in Nashville 2 to 3 times next year
is doable.
Is totally doable.
You told me one. You didn't tell me.
He said we could do it 2 to 3 times. And because he is at the Marathon Motor Works, he can automatically get anybody that comes. He thinks it's a 20% discount at the Marriott across the street.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes. So we would already have a hookup on the lodging thing.
Huh.
And he said he could talk to a couple other people to sort it out to create some experiences. So like if you flew in Friday night, had pickup winding class on Saturday, and we could probably create some experiences for people for Saturday night to where they would really enjoy Nashville, and then they could do whatever they wanted on Sunday. He said he thinks that we could work some pretty cool stuff
That would be really nice.
Because he knows everybody. He's in the music business in Nashville.
Everybody.
Well, you know, he's been there a while. So he said, we'll have to work it out. And he said he was going to make a couple phone calls. But we could probably do some really cool pickup winding stuff in Nashville. Yeah, that's going to be neat.
Angel Raven 444 says, Dylan and Leslie, have you ever had an NDE?
What is that?
I had to Google it.
What?
A near-death experience.
Oh, yeah. When I crashed on my motorcycle in 2007, I came very, very close.
I want to say no, but I almost died when I was like 2. Because that was before they immunized for epiglottitis, and I had it and almost died.
Oh, really?
So I always wonder when I like have problems with my throat. Like that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Like, oh gosh, is there like some long-term effect or something? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
That's interesting.
That's a cool question. Doc says, cool, I'm in, let's go. Nashville is going to be great.
Yeah, I know we'd probably be able to sell it out every time we do it.
John Clark said, wow, I would be up for that totally. I've never seen Nashville, and I want to make pickups.
Cool.
Sean McMillan says, sweet, super interested.
So
Charles Wallace says, that would be great.
So just so you know, those are the kind of conversations that happen when we do these Patreon hangouts.
Yeah.
The fourth Monday of every month, because everybody said, almost everybody, not John, but everybody else who said that would be great. It was all their idea. They were like, well, what if you could do it in Nashville? And I was like, wait a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I can.
Yeah.
So they came up with that idea.
Austin's place is really nice.
Yeah, it's a really cool place.
And even just to, like, that is a destination in itself. Like, to tour just where his office is.
Yes, it's cool. And there's a knife store there.
Oh, that's right.
A really good one.
Rick Bonneville said, I had swine flu when I was 12. Was dead for about 3 minutes.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's crazy. Swine flu. I thought that was just like on the news.
I thought it was more recent. So, like, is Rick really young?
No, he's not.
I don't know. Okay.
He's not old, though, but he's not like a teenager.
Not like I knew about swine flu on the news, like,
yeah,
older than that. Cool. I think I got everybody. If I didn't, hurry up and retype it. I don't know.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, because we went.
Did you have anything else?
Another 45 minutes.
Jeffrey Egan said Nashville would be cool.
Oh,
does anybody else have, like, near-death experience? Like, that's a great question.
That is an interesting question, isn't it?
Nobody's ever asked me that. But I literally didn't think about it until I was like, wait, have I ever died? And then, I mean, of course, I don't remember. I just remember my mom telling me this story.
Yep. I mean, I've had more than that, but that's the big one.
Yeah.
Obviously.
And I think like, I don't even know if maybe it was that dangerous. I don't know. But here, so we have tons of hospitals here, but we were on the military base, which is subpar medical care. So I had to be sent to better medical care also.
I've done many dangerous things. You talk about all those motorbike people that break a lot of bones and stuff. I actually never broke a bone until 2007, and I broke 2006, I broke my collarbone in Mexico riding. And then that was in like November. And then the following May, I broke my back in 4 places. And I broke 4 vertebrae, my shoulder blade, and 3 ribs in one day. And those years, that was the first time I ever broke anything. But I've had numerous concussions. I was a skateboarder and a surfer, and all of these various other semi-extreme sports growing up. And so I've had many brushes with major injury.
Rick says, for sure. Doug says, I have. Rusty said, I had a heart attack last October, had a stent put in. I didn't die, but I had a 30-minute ride to the hospital not knowing how it would turn out.
Oh.
And Rick said, yes, he's old. Sir
Mix a lot.
Charles Wallace says 3, but I don't have time for details. Martian Murray said, I might have had an NDE, but not sober enough to remember.
That's funny.
Yeah, people are talking about broken bones. I've never had any broken bones.
Mm-mm.
Except toes, but those don't really count because you can't really fix them.
Right.
But I've never had any broken bones. Let's see. Sir Sneaker Pimp says, as a southpaw, of which I've never heard a left-hander called that, first of all. Have you?
What?
That's what he keeps saying southpaw for. He's referring...
You've never heard that?
Oh, no. What is it? What's it from?
It's a left-hander.
Why?
Is that a baseball thing?
Never heard that.
I can't remember
until
what that
tonight.
comes from.
As a southpaw, do you turn paper at an angle to write, or do you do the very odd hand curl?
I think it might be a combination.
Hand curl. Not
but
really. Not
yeah, but
the,
I
not
don't
the
do.
weird.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that do this whole like all the way around thing. I probably
But you don't
do.
turn
Yeah, I turn the paper.
the wrong way. That's funny.
I don't know. Yeah, okay, so I would sit like this.
Yeah, but
It would
that's
be-
pretty straight.
It would be, yeah, it's pretty straight, and my hand is
Normal.
like put your hand on a pen
Yeah,
with
no,
the right hand. It's probably the pretty normal
Yeah,
angle for a
sure.
right-hander.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't do either actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
And
thing
if
is
you-
heavy.
It's awesome.
I couldn't write with that.
It's my favorite.
I feel like
pen
it would
I've
like
ever
flip
had.
out of my hands.
So if I write my name with both hands, okay. Well, I guess maybe I can't totally write with my right hand. But.
Doc Stiltonen says near NDE car crash during dental school, dirt bike crash in the forest alone, assault in high school. Yep, I've had some.
Whew. Yeah, crazy. Yep.
Paul needs talking earlier of Christmas lunch. We have a big bird flu here in Europe. Turkeys are off the menu because when you go to cook them, they keep sneezing the oven flames out. What? I thought we were being serious here. I feel like now he's messing with me. John Clark says, I broke my femur in Italy the same day Valentino Rossi crashed at
What is that?
Word, and he was in the room next to me. That's a cool story.
Mugello.
Okay.
That's a very cool racetrack.
That's a cool story.
That's a really cool story.
Is Eric Luddinger said that's a boxing thing. The South.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember if it was. I knew it was a sport thing, but I couldn't remember. I thought it was baseball.
Yeah, Angel Raven 444 says all the turkeys around here are being called. I don't know. Due to
Culled.
avian flu. What does culled mean?
They kill them.
Oh, why don't you just say killed?
Because culled is not the same thing as killed, and it makes the hippies happier.
Timothy Potter, blood clot based heart attack 4 years ago in the lobby of my mechanic shop. He kept me alive with CPR for 37 minutes.
Woo.
He broke my sternum, 2 ribs, and gave me a concussion in the process. Still here.
So I learned something about concussions today because I've had a bunch of them, and so one of the things I worry about is CTE.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like where football players kill themselves and stuff because they hit their head so many times. Because that's a thing. It's a real. They're trying to research it, so it's something that I'm personally aware of. And
Because how many concussions do you think you've had?
well, until today, I know I've had 5.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean until today? You got some clarification?
Yes, a head injury is not necessary for a concussion.
Oh.
Because
Just the rattling of?
the rattling of your head.
So how many do you think you've had now?
A dozen,
Oh.
at least.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yep. Because of all the things. I mean, I did things. Fun, very fun, dangerous things. And so I want to make sure that I don't.
So John Clark is the one who was beside Valentino Rossi.
That's
He
cool.
said, I can email you the details. It's a pretty interesting story and send it to your email for later reading enjoyment.
No, that's cool. That's really neat, dude.
I mean, I hate that you broke your
Yeah,
leg. But
exactly. It's a bad way to get a cool story, but cool stories are rarely like stuff unless it has
the term southpaw can be traced back to the 1880s when Chicago Daily News sports reporter Finley Peter Dunn coined the term when covering the then-named Chicago White Stockings games.
White Stockings, which is baseball.
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, Doug said earlier, like, baseball's older than boxing, so that's cool.
Because I thought it had to do with...
Oh, they described him as a southpaw since the ballpark faced east and west. Home plate was west, and a left-hander would pitch from the south with his paw.
That's what I thought. I thought it had to do with something...
a Avenger.
Thank you. I thought it had... Obviously, I don't know all the stuff, and you hear little details of things, but all I remember it being was about the way... And I was wrong because I thought it was the hitter. so it must have been the pitcher. But I thought it was the way he was standing in relation to the way the other person was standing.
Well, it makes sense that it would be somebody with a glove on.
True. Yeah. There you go. Cool.
Cool. All right. So, this is a long time.
This is a long time. It's fun, though. Thanks for hanging out, everybody.
I appreciate you sharing some of your stories with us tonight.
Yeah, this is exactly why we do it. I say it in every one of these, but this is really fun. This is the reason why I like to do these after hours things and hang out with y'all and get to know you some. And
I don't know what this question is. Hawkman Hawk says, "What was your first deck?" Mine was a Schmidt Sticks Danger.
Oh, wow. Okay, so
What's a
my
deck?
Skateboard. So my first one was so I was really poor. My first board was a Veriflex because those were the ones you could get at I'm from the Midwest, so originally, like Shopko and Kmart, you could get a Veriflex at Shopko or Kmart. And then my first quote-unquote real skateboard was a Vision Psycho Stick. The Vision Psycho Stick is the one on the NXS cover with the eyeballs. And then shortly after that, I became full-on Powell Peralta, and I'm a Steve Caballero diehard. I also had a Christian Hosoi Hammerhead, but Steve Caballero was and still is my favorite skateboarder of all time. Second, because he was very technical. Second to that was Christian Hosoi because he was like the big air guy of the time. So, but yeah, I went from a Veriflex to a Psycho Stick to, I can't remember if I had a Hosoi first or if I had a cab first, but I had nothing but cabs after that. I actually almost a couple months ago bought an Indian FTR 1200 just so that I could buy the Steve Caballero collaboration gas tank covers for it. But we're going a different direction now. But yeah, I would have done that.
Angel Raven 444 says, "My first board was a Cal 240.
Oh, wow.
Ira Tiger Bomb says, "Do you mod your vehicle motors?"
I haven't lately because we have a Dodge Ram ProMaster and it's dumb, so there's no reason to do it. And we have a Honda Hybrid. So yes. Most all my vehicles, well, and I will tell you, even these ones are not stock. They have had things done to them. Even if it's not, like, it's only appearance stuff on these vehicles because performance doesn't really matter with them. But yeah, everything, until these cars, everything I had was fast.
Awesome. Okay. We tried to close before, but
we probably should at some point.
So don't forget, get your one before the end of the month. December, already forgot again.
And go to the link and do the survey. Although I'm sure most of you that are here have
December 29th at 9 o'clock Eastern. We will do this.
Cool. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. This has been really fun. Let's hit the finish button, and we will see you.
Thanks, Avenger, for all the history.
Yeah, that
sharing
was awesome.
All kind of cool stuff. Yeah, he said thank you, Google. Yeah, thank you.
We'll see you Monday.